What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Welcome to your second stimulus check update, stimulus package update, and news report for Monday, January 11th. Today should be a very big day. Today, as of updating this video or recording this video, the House, any moment, should be going into session and will be introducing the articles of impeachment. This should be happening sometime today. Also, we have the Biden administration sometime this week, most likely at the end of this week. They will be revealing their massive stimulus and economic recovery plan, which will be great. I'm not saying the plan will be great. I'm saying the introduction of this, the revealing of this will be great. Mike Pence is said to be considering, just said to be considering, the 25th Amendment and removing President Trump from office. It depends on what happens this week and next week. We could see some major changes. So I'll get to that in a second. And we have news from many states about the issues they are facing regarding their rental assistance. So let's get into the video so that we can address all these things. First, let's address the $2,000 stimulus checks, because I know a lot of people have been asking, what is going on? Are we going to get them? When are they coming? What should we expect? So let's address that. First, the Biden administration should be revealing their stimulus package sometime at the end of this week. What's in this package, I went over a bunch of leaks that we've been seeing, through the media. So I went over that yesterday. If you didn't get a chance to watch that, I will link to that video down in the description box below. So make sure you go and check that out. Now, this is going to be good to see this plan revealed. Obviously, we need to see the proposal first before we actually get it voted on, or in most cases. But it's going to be good. This will be good because the American people will see what's there, what could be. Now, I say what could be simply because right now what's being reported is that Joe Biden wants to work directly with Mitch McConnell and Republicans and figure out a way to provide a bipartisan bill. There's another option, and I'll explain that in a minute. I also talked about this last night, but there's another option. And Joe Biden and Democrats don't want to go down that road yet. They would rather work directly with the Republicans. They want a bipartisan bill. So that's good that we could see Republican issues and Democratic issues both resolved in one bill. That would be great to see, because lately we haven't really seen that. We've seen Republicans get a lot of stuff they want. We've seen Democrats get some stuff that they wanted. But in the end, Mitch McConnell pretty much held all the power and pretty much squashed all Democrats' priorities. So we'll see what happens going forward. Now, I mentioned the other day that some Democrats are against the $2,000 stimulus checks. They are still against the $2,000 stimulus checks. But this isn't due to the normal reasons that many people are currently thinking of. And you're probably thinking of these as well. Many are opposed to this because some say it will take away funding from other very important people and needs. For example, unemployment benefits. If we provide $2,000 stimulus checks, does that take away from the unemployment benefit pot? What about vaccines? If we provide $2,000 stimulus checks or a $1,400 amendment in addition to that $600 we already received, is that going to take away money from the vaccine distribution? If it is, Democrats or some Republicans are against this, that we cannot provide stimulus checks instead of providing money for vaccines. And then state and local government funding. A lot of Democrats are against stimulus check because it says, well, if we only have $400 billion, should we provide $400 billion to the American people and provide an additional stimulus check? Or should we do $400 billion to state and local governments, and then we could also be distributing that money throughout the states and localities simply by employing more people? That's currently the discussion. So I'm not saying either answer is right or wrong. I'm just saying right now this is what's happening. So we could see Joe Biden, he promised $2,000 stimulus check, so I don't think he can go back on that now. But some are saying, let's not do full 2,000. Let's give an additional 600 to make it a 1,200 so they get the full stimulus check. Then we'll take the other 800 and we'll put it into other priorities. I'm just saying that's what's being discussed. Again, the proposal is being written at this point. We're getting leaks of what's going to be in it, but until we have the document, we have the actual text of the bill, we just don't know. Now, some are saying that having a large stimulus check makes it harder to get bipartisan support, and this is true. Last night, I mentioned how Democrats have a nuclear option available to them. This is called the budget reconciliation. Now, this allows Democrats 9 instances over the next 2 years where they can pass a bill through the Senate with only getting 51 votes. The Senate's tied 50 Republicans, 50 Democrats. The tiebreaker would be the vice president. At this point, that's Mike Pence. Well, on January 20th, that's going to be Kamala Harris. So, just understand that this is a huge tool. The Democrats have it at their disposal. However, Joe Biden does not want to use this if he can avoid it. He wants to put together some type of bipartisan package. Right now, I can tell you, a larger stimulus check, a lot of money for state and local governments, more money or a larger bonus per week for unemployment benefits. Those are all things that Republicans currently oppose. So we will see what happens. Now, the $2,000 stimulus checks. Here's another big thing. The $2,000 stimulus checks are supposed to go to every single person. This means many Republicans, because they currently support $2,000 stimulus checks to filers, $2,000 stimulus checks to their spouse, and they support $600 to child dependents. They do not support $2,000 for child dependents, and they do not support any money for adult dependents. Well, in the Cash Act, which provides $2,000 stimulus checks to everybody, this was what was passed by the House about 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Right now, I can tell you, Republicans do not support any money for adult dependents. They also do not support any money for people with an ITIN number. So because of that, this could be another one of those sticking points. This could be another one of those issues that, all right, this is where we're at. This is where Democrats are at. This is what we want to provide. Republicans are like, no, we cannot support any of that. Then Joe Biden's going to step in, or Chuck Schumer can step in and be like, we have this budget reconciliation that we can pretty much just get this passed without you. So let's negotiate. Let's get this figured out. We'll provide maybe liability protections. If that's really what you want, that's truly one of your priorities, we'll provide that. But you have to get on board. You have to vote yes. You have to support this. That's what we're going to hear. We're going to hear this. We're going to hear the term budget reconciliation multiple times over the next couple of months. And a bunch of times over the next 2 years. So just be prepared for that. Also, the size of the stimulus package that gets introduced is going to play a major role in who supports it. Republicans, they don't want to see a stimulus package that exceeds $1 trillion. But all reports, not only today and this morning, but over the weekend and even the end of last week, we saw that this package is going to be closer to $3 trillion. That's what we're hearing. It's going to be a $3 trillion package. So, how will negotiations go in this case? Because this is how it started months ago. It started with Democrats. They were like, we want $3.4 trillion. No, okay, we'll go down to 2.4. And Republicans were like, we'll start at $500 billion. We'll go up to like $600 billion. Then they went up to 9, to a trillion. Then they went up to 1.5, then 1.6, then 1.88. And Democrats are like, no, that's still not enough. Well, what we're going to see is Democrats are going to demand Republicans come up. This is what we know. They are going to pretty much push them to the limit like Republicans push Democrats to the limit. They're going to push them to this limit and see how far up they're willing to go. And then they're going to pass something. Whether they use the nuclear option or not, that's what we currently don't know. What we do know is that Joe Biden wants to work directly with Mitch McConnell to get a deal done. He does not want to use this nuclear option, but if he has to, he will. Chuck Schumer, on the other hand, is believed to be willing to use this nuclear option at any point if it means Democrats will get the priorities through that they want. Democrats at this point, according to multiple lawmakers, believe that they were screwed. That the Republicans strong-arm them into taking a smaller stimulus package simply because Mitch McConnell held all the power. Right now, that's not the case. So, what I can tell you is the timing of this stimulus package will hinge on the impeachment proceedings. We know this. If the Senate must take on the impeachment trial, then it will slow down many things. For instance, this will delay cabinet confirmations, which will be a huge blow. It will delay the Senate's regular business, which again, I don't know how much they really do, especially lately. And this will obviously delay any and all stimulus talks. So right now, this is one of the reasons why many lawmakers are currently urging Nancy Pelosi and Democrats to just hold off on the impeachment. Just hold off for about 100 days so the Biden administration can take office and they can put their 100-day plan into effect. Right now, this would at least give the Biden administration some leeway. It would give them the opportunity to put their plan into effect before going through this impeachment. Now that we're on that topic, let's just discuss what President Trump is currently going through. Let's address the news on President Trump's impeachment. The White House plans on beginning the process sometime today. Now, what we're hearing, Nancy Pelosi in the House will formally ask Vice President Mike Pence and the cabinet to invoke the 25th Amendment. That's what we're hearing. That's the first order of business. Again, they're supposed to convene sometime today. I believe it's at 11 a.m. So at the time I publish this video, they are going to be back in session. Now, it is said that Nancy Pelosi is going to give Mike Pence 24 hours to decide and provide an answer back to her whether or not they will move forward with the 25th Amendment. If they do not, Nancy Pelosi and the House will move forward with an impeachment. This could happen as soon as they receive an answer from Mike Pence. This could be today. This will most likely be by tomorrow or Wednesday. So, at this time, this is what we're hearing. We do know Mitch McConnell says he will not move forward with this until after the inauguration. Even though they can on January 19th, one day before, they will not. Some lawmakers are saying that if another act of violence takes place between now and Inauguration Day, then the impeachment is the only way forward, and the Senate would take this up as soon as possible, which could be as early as January 19th. So, that's only 8 days away. According to multiple reports, and these reports are currently scaring a lot of people. According to multiple reports, there are planned attacks for Sunday, January 17th. What we are hearing is Washington, D.C. Mayor Bowser, she said that she is extremely worried not only about the inauguration day and providing security for President-elect Biden and Kamala Harris, but the week leading up to this as well. Remember, we're only 9 days away from the inauguration. So because of this, she is very worried. Right now, they do have the National Guard in Washington, D.C. They are setting up barriers. They are setting up fences. They are going to protect the Capitol building because all reports right now on Twitter, there are still many people talking about attacking the Capitol again. Twitter's trying to pull those down as quickly as possible, but they are coming up faster and faster. So that will get out there. There was a thing from, I believe, Michael Moore the other day where he posted a flyer on his Instagram account. It got pulled down, so you can't see it now. I wasn't even able to pull it up, but there was a flyer pretty much telling people, let's get to Washington. And this is posted, I guess, around the country. I haven't seen one in person. I haven't seen it. I've only seen or heard people discussing what's on it, but it's pretty much telling people, let's get to Washington. Let's get to any Capitol building, any government building, and let's do an armed protest. That's what we're hearing, that this can happen any day. I know here in Washington State, our governor called in the National Guard in order to, I believe it was National Guard, I'd have to look that up again, but he called in more enforcement to protect the Capitol building. So we know this. We know this is going to happen across the country. And this is what many people are saying, is that if President Trump is behind any of this stuff, and right now, whether he is or not, okay, I'm not going to say he is or he isn't, but right now people are saying he hasn't stepped up and called out and done a press conference saying, we can't do this. Do not do this. Do not, go and protest in front of any government building. If he were to do that, this would pretty much take off the blame away from him and put it on the protesters or the rioters. But right now, what Congress is saying is that he hasn't done this. So many Democrats and Republicans are calling for President Trump to either resign, or if not, these are impeachable offenses. So, according to Democrats, President Trump is a threat to the nation, and that is why they want to impeach him. And they want to do this right now because they do not want him to play out the remaining 9 days in office. Nancy Pelosi stated yesterday that she is worried, not because President Trump could actually pardon himself and get away from what he has done. Again, this is what she's saying, but get away from what he has done. But she is worried that what if President Trump decides, I don't want to pardon myself, I want to pardon the people that are currently arrested for what they did at the Capitol building on Wednesday. If this is the case, that puts them back out there on the street, and they can just go and do this again. So that's what she is worried about, and that's what many Democrats are worried about as well. And trying to find a Republican that doesn't feel that President Trump crossed the line is very difficult. The majority of Republicans that have spoken recently do support an impeachment if that means we get our security back. Many lawmakers that were in the Capitol building when it was being sieged, they are saying that they knew this was going to happen. They had a feeling there was going to be some type of rioting, some type of vandalism to the building. However, they did not anticipate people would actually be able to break in. They were hoping, and they had heard that the National Guard was going to be there. The Capitol Police would keep the protesters and rioters away. However, that wasn't the case. Multiple Republicans have publicly stated that President Trump overstepped last week. Now, what happens moving forward is currently unknown as to when an impeachment might happen and how many Republicans would support going through with this all the way through. So, let's talk about the issues regarding rental assistance, because I know this is another big one. The states right now will be in charge of administering these funds. This is what is causing a lot of problems. According to multiple reports, states had a lot of say-so into who received the rental assistance or the funding through the CARES Act. This is how it was the last time. Now, that's not the case. The new round of funding is actually being more restrictive. The states cannot just go and give funding to people that need it. It has to go to the hardest hit individuals. This means last time, roughly 1/3, 1 out of every 3 people that applied got funding. So, we are being told that right now, this could mean that even less than 1/3 of the people will receive funding. We could see less than 25% of the applicants that apply for rental assistance who truly need it, they will actually get funding. So, if we have, hundreds of thousands of people or millions of people behind on rent, we could see very few of them actually get any assistance, which means there will still be a homelessness crisis. There will still be a housing crisis. There will still be a financial crisis. This is not getting any better. Right now, the way the bill was written is the states do not have much power to lend money or pretty much give away money for rental assistance to the people that truly need it. Now, if they require additional documentation, this is something that's being said right now, that some states are going to require additional documentation from yourself or the landlord. It is because of this that they are saying to call your local housing authority and see if they know anything, if they have any idea as to what will be acceptable and also what will be needed. If there's anything they say that it might be, you might need this, you might need that, just get it. Get it so it will speed up your application process, and do this before it's too late. So, that's what we know regarding rental assistance. That's what we know regarding the impeachment of President Trump and also the stimulus package. As I know more, I promise I'll come back and share more. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful week. Have an incredible Monday, and I'll see you guys on the next one.